Merry Christmas from everybody at Sicce. Your Christmas present is how to clean a Voyager. Customer brought this in and it's not starting, they say, as often as it should, and I know some people have that trouble with a lot of different power heads. We're going to quickly show you how to fix that. First of all, anytime you get any pump in, you want to do a motor block check. Voyagers are pretty easy to disassemble, and you can do this without water. So you plug the pump in, take the rotor to the outside, see it has vibration, motor block's good. Next, you want to visibly inspect the inside of the pump. There's nothing wrong visibly inside of the pump, no cracks, but if you look at the very end, you can see there's calcium and dirt build up at the very end of the unit. So we want to get that clean. That can cause some of the problems. We're putting simple vinegar. Just going to soak some vinegar in there while we check out the rest of the pump. And now we're going to look at the rotor. First thing I noticed when I took this apart, we checked the bearings, they're still pliable, but if you look real closely, and it may be hard to see in the video, I'm going to turn the light on, see if that helps. You see the scar, the two scar marks on the rubber? Those two scar marks are because the rotor has tried to turn the rubber, and that's an indication that there's buildup on the shaft and it's not spinning properly. So when I take this apart, and I've already worked on this pump a little bit, but when I took this apart, got two, these are the rubbers, this is the rotor, this is the impeller, the shaft. But one of the things you'll notice on this unit, and I don't know if you can tell in the video, but it doesn't slide freely. You can feel, I don't know if you can hear that, but you can actually feel the resistance. So it doesn't even fall down on the shaft until you move it, and you can see a little bit of the buildup. So I'm simply going to take my white vinegar. You can use if vinegar is not strong enough, you can use CLR, which is a great product, but you want to make sure and don't leave the pump in it forever, just long enough to get it good and clean, and then rinse it thoroughly. Vinegar is a little safer, and I'm just gonna jump all this down into vinegar and let it soak. Once that's finished soaking, once it's finished soaking for a little bit, you'll feel it get free, but the bottom line, this thing should move freely back and forth, and you should be able to spin it freely. Now, the one last thing, when you reassemble it, if this is completely free and the inside of the unit, after you clean that, if it's still not starting every single time on startup, this little rubber boot is your culprit. And they get hard, just like any rubber in salt water and any rotor by any manufacturer. Over time, that can get a little hard and not pliable, and when it seats into the bearing chamber, it doesn't hold. So right there, that's tight, that's good. But if it were hard, what'll happen as this builds up, it'll try to turn the whole unit, and you can imagine that's hard to do. It takes a lot of torque, so it won't start every single time. And you can replace those little rubber bumpers real inexpensively. That's it. Have a Merry Christmas.